and welcome to TWF Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw. I, Michael Cole, with Pat McAfee and with the Jackal. And today on Monday Night Raw, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday on Power or Might when Drew McIntyre beat Arrow. But Arrow still has the right to fight for the TWF heavyweight winnings, though. Michael Cole said even though Drew McIntyre beat Arrow, it did not shift that Arrow has the right to fight Taylor. You got that right, Pat McAfee says. Drew McIntyre, was angry that it was Arrow that won the double threat match. He believes it should be him. I could tell you right now, the Jackal says, Don, I could tell you right now that Drew McIntyre has every right to be angry. He does. He has every right to be irked and angry because that should be him fighting for the TWF heavyweight winnings instead of Arrow. I mean, what has Arrow done in the toy wrestling gathering to get a shot for it? Well, to tell you the truth, I think Arrow has done a lot of things, to get a shot for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Pat McAfee says, I think he's done a lot. Well, I just don't see it, the Jackal says. I mean, earnestly, I just don't see it, Pat McAfee. I mean, what did he do? I mean, besides getting bought from the Glassport Frith medal, that's the only thing that he did. He done a lot of things, Pat McAfee said. He was an over good doer. He done a lot more in the toy wrestling gathering than you did in WWF and ECW, or your 2 runs in TNA, or your run in AEW. Stand up. So I understand that Drew McIntyre... Stand up! Stand up! What the fuck? Stand up. Stand up! Okay, I guess lean against the ropes then. So I understand that Drew McIntyre wants to fight me today because somehow him beating Arrow makes him think he's some kind of, tough man or something now. Well, Drew McIntyre, you want to fight me? Well, I'm here. But beating Arrow does not make you this tough man, as you like to call yourself. It makes you a bully and a creep. And that's what it makes you. And it's not, stand up. And it's not my bind that you can't. And it's not my bind, that you can't, that you didn't win the match. Why don't you say that to my Lear then? Why don't you say that to my Lear then? Taylor. Say it to my bloody Lear, because I'm here. And yes, it should be me fighting for the TW... Come on. Fighting for the TWF heavyweight winnings. I mean, what did you do? Stand up. You didn't do nothing. Yeah, you came from Game Again. Big deal. One of myself came from Walmart. Another one of myself came from Ollie's. So big deal about that. And I beat for that DC over good doer that got bought from the Glassport Thrift Medal. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll beat you the same way I beat him. Yeah, because I'm the one that truly has the right, to fight. I'm one of the ones that has the right to fight Asuka, because I won Galled in the Boundary. And and Arrow also has the right to fight Asuka. So you're going after everyone who has the right for the TWF heavyweight winning, because in your mind you believe that somehow that's going to give you the right to fight for it? Yeah. That's why I'm doing it. And if I beat I beat Arrow, and I fucked up name now, sorry. If I beat him, then I'll beat you. And at the end of the day, no one is going to take away from me what I did. Hey, Drew McIntyre, I hate to break it up to you, but Taylor is right. Stand up. Can't stand up unless leaning against the ropes. I don't know if it's because the ring's got a bounce or not. Anyway, Taylor's right, Drew McIntyre. Fighting her, yeah, you can wrestle her, you can fight her, but if you beat her, that's not going to give you the right to fight Asuka or win Galled in the Boundary. But if you want to fight her, you can go right ahead. But I'm going to tell you at the end of the day, Taylor will still the Galled in the Boundary. And Arrow will still have the right to fight Asuka. So only one of them can. Well, for you. So we can have that match now. And hey, let me tell you something, Rick. I don't care how many straps you won at MACW and WCW and WWF and WWE. I will be the 3-time TWF heavyweight fighter. Alright then, you think that. Well, we just heard from the main overseer of the TWF, Ric Flair, making this match. And Drew McIntyre believes, Michael Cole says, that if he beats the two folks that have the lawful right to fight Asuka, that will give him the right. And right off, Taylor did a hip toss on Drew McIntyre and a body slam. Drew McIntyre is in a bind right now. Taylor, Michael Cole said, well, down there goes the fight, Lord. And that was a mistake. Oh, Drew McIntyre just low blowed Taylor. Well, the fight Lord got knocked down by mistake, Michael Cole says. Yeah, Drew McIntyre's a heel. And sadly, heels do heelish shit like that. Claymore kick to Taylor, Michael Cole says. Yeah, Pat McAfee says, I wouldn't put it past Drew McIntyre to do something unlawful while the fight Lord was knocked down by mistake or by mishap or whatever. Pat McAfee says, he's a heel, the Jackal says. And heels do things like that. And soon Drew McIntyre will have the lawful right to take on Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings, since he's going to beat Arrow and he's going to beat Taylor here today. Jackal, even if he beats Taylor, it's not going to give him the right to fight Asuka, because he's not Lord Galled in a Boundary, and he's not, so he doesn't have that going for him, Pat McAfee says. And he didn't get named the next one to fight Asuka, so good luck with that. Right now he's getting ready. Look at that, Pat McAfee says. He's getting ready, Michael Cole said, to do the Claymore kick again. Only this time, oh, right in the ring steeple. Taylor Aragon. The twist of doom. Taylor Aragon did the twist of doom on Drew McIntyre, Michael Cole says. Well, Pat McAfee says, if Drew McIntyre loses this match, we're going to listen to him bitch and rant about the unfairness of it, Pat McAfee says. What do you mean? We're going to listen to him bitch and rant about the unfairness of losing the match, the Jackal says. That's... He never does that. Well, he does, Michael Cole says. He's been bitching and ranting for years about how he's not the TWF heavyweight fighter for the free with time, or he's not the W heavyweight fighter for the free with time, Michael Cole says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. Here is your winner, Taylor. And now Taylor has beat Drew McIntyre here today. Taylor has beat Drew McIntyre, here today on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. And we do know that Drew McIntyre cannot be happy about losing after he started telling everyone how cool he was for beating Arrow yesterday, Michael Cole says. Well, I can tell you one thing, Pat McAfee says. We're going to hear him bitch. We're going to hear him rant. We're going to hear him shame and guilt everyone and scathe everyone, Pat McAfee says. Because no way that he lose a match fairly or cleanly. Someone was against him. Everyone's out to get him. Everyone's out to screw him and fuck him over. Pat McAfee says. Yeah, that's how he's always been. No, the Jackal says. Folks are fucking with him. They are screwing with him. They are out to get him. He would have been a TWF heavyweight fighter if it wasn't for Ric Flair naming Arrow, if it wasn't for Taylor winning Galled in the Boundary, Pat McAfee, the Jackal says. All right, Michael Cole says, we're going to have to talk, we're going to talk now with Mike Lane, who is going to talk with the TWF, heavyweight fighter, Asuka. Thank you, Michael Cole. I'm going to be talking with Asuka, the TWF heavyweight fighter, here today on Monday Night Raw or Moon Night Raw. All right, Asuka, we don't know what's going on with you in WWE. Stand up! We don't know what's going on with you in WWE or when you'll be back. But we do know here in the TWF, you are the TWF heavyweight fighter. You have two folks that you got to be worried about. Arrow, that DC over good to herself. And Taylor, that Stargate Atlantis, or Stargate Land self, who is also Galled in the Boundary. Well, Mike, I know that I got to deal with Arrow sometime down the road, down the street. I know I have to deal with Taylor sometime too. But you see, I got past King Caesar, and everyone said that he was going to beat me. And I beat Braun Strowman to become the TWF heavyweight fighter for the 2-week time. So I will go through Arrow. I will go through Taylor Aragon and anyone else. It's like I always told folks since 25 25th between FYL and WWE, either on NXT, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, that no one was ready for Asuka. And like I told everybody in a toy wrestling gathering, since the end of 26 between a while that no one was ready for Asuka either. Well, Asuka is believing in herself and says she will beat Arrow and she'll also beat Taylor. Back to you, Michael Cole. Well, thank you, Mike Lane, for talking with Asuka here today on Monday Night Raw or Moon Night Raw. And that's all the time we got here for Monday Night Raw or Moon Night Raw. I, Michael Cole, with Pat McAfee and with the Jackal. We hope you like Monday Night Raw or Moon Night Raw, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT.